Fortunately, there's a wonderful paper that was published, it was a few years ago now, in the journal Cerebral Cortex, entitled Insular Cortex Mediates Increased Pain Tolerance in Yoga Practitioners. This study explored the effects on brain structure volume in yoga practitioners. And for those of you out there that are aficionados in yoga, they pulled subjects from having backgrounds in here I'm probably going to mispronounce these different things, and forgive me, the Vinyasa yogas, the Ashtanga yogas, Iyengar yogas, the Sananda yogas. Okay, so some people were new to these practices, some were experienced. The important takeaways were that they took these yoga practitioners and they didn't explore their brain structure in the context of yoga itself. They looked at things like pain tolerance. So they used thermal stimulation. Basically, they put people into conditions where they gave them very hot or very cold stimuli and compared those yoga practitioners of varying levels of yoga experience to those that had no experience with yoga, so-called controls. And they found some really interesting things. There are a lot of data in this paper, but here's something I'd like to highlight. The pain tolerance of yoga practitioners was double or more to that of non-yoga practitioners. They also found significant increases in insular, again, the insula, this brain region, gray matter volume. Typically, when we talk about gray matter, we're talking about the so-called cell bodies, the location in neurons where the genome is housed and where the kind of all the housekeeping stuff is there. And then white matter volume tends to be the axons, the wires, because they're ensheathed with this stuff that appears white in MRIs and indeed is white under the microscope and indeed is white. It's actually lipid, which is myelin. So increased gray matter volume of the insula is a significant finding because what it suggests is that people that are doing yoga have an increased volume of these areas of the brain that are associated with interoceptive awareness and for being able to make judgments about pain and why one is experiencing pain, not just to lean away from pain, but to utilize or leverage or even overcome pain. And I find this interesting because there are a lot of activities out there that don't create these kind of changes in brain volume, especially within the insula.